Towering over the border between China and Bhutan is Kulakangri. Its elevation exceeds 7,000 meters. In its foothills is nestled the village of Tui. Located at 5,070 meters, it's one of the highest settlements in the world. For hundreds of years, villagers have lived by grazing sheep on this remote terrain. Not even trees grow from the frigid ground. Oxygen levels here are only half that of the flatlands. During the winter, even the vegetation dies out. The closest grass to be found is at a lake island 5 kilometers away. In February, temperatures reach minus 20 degrees Celsius and ice coats the lake. Winds course across the lake at 20 meters a second. But in the name of survival, 2,000 sheep are led to the island to graze. In their most recent journey, the villagers face unexpected challenge after challenge. Tibet's high-up village of Tui. In this program, we walk beside the residents who brave the fierce elements of this land. The largest city and capital of the Tibet Autonomous Region is Lhasa, at an elevation of 3,650 meters. On this holy ground for Tibetan Buddhism, many have relied on their faith to persevere among the unyielding natural environment. In May, our filming crew departs Lhasa to seek out the Tibetan Plateau's even higher mountainous regions. With a 4-hour drive, the elevation reaches 5,010 meters. A massive lake spans the horizon. It's called Puma Yumutsua, meaning blue jewel in Tibetan. Jutting into the east side of the lake is a cape with a village seemingly clinging to its slope. At an elevation of 5,070 meters, this is one of the highest up villages in the world, Tui. Its residents hail from the ethnic Tibetan people. 37 households with just over 150 people live in the village. In 2020, as part of the Chinese government's project to combat poverty, sweeping changes came to the village. old homes were remodeled, roads paved, and electricity made fully accessible. Denzin was born and raised in Tsui. His wife, Sonam, moved there 25 years ago when she married him. Denzin is the oldest sheep herder in the village. On this day, he departs for their spring grazing. Since there's no grass near the village, Denzin will spend an entire month hiking around a far-removed grassland. In his herd are 500 sheep. With farming impossible in the region, residents can only survive by grazing livestock. He arrives at a mountain field 15 kilometers from their village. Using a sling made from sheep's wool, he throws stones to guide distant herds. This is just one of the traditional techniques wielded by Denzin. The vast, dry land is at an elevation of 5,000 meters. Strong winds race across the ground. The year has seen a troublesome drought, making fresh grass difficult to find. To reach enough vegetation, Denzin and his herd will walk over 20 kilometers a day. Because of the intense strain the high elevation places on the body, the average lifespan of Tui villagers is said to be just 45 years. They climb another 500 meters up into the mountains. To Denzin, climbing is an exhausting challenge.
Lo ta tanda ngabju ngabshibidala. Lo shibju sun zebanji ni nachul. Ni ki ta joda ni tariri taringi dado. Wani amni kummido chichikila.
강부 야마 기후 제모도 베스.
된저란 엘레 소소 가주 릴 로톱도 라지 로톱נס습니다. 로랍 gem보샤샤.
That evening, he arrives at the shed where he'll stay. To protect the sheep from Himalayan wolves, they are enclosed in a wall of stones. Another herder from the village arrives. To prepare for the possibility of emergencies, it's customary for them to stay in pairs. Tspinso is a new herder with just 3 years of experience. This rough shack, made from heaped earth and stone, has been maintained by generations of sheep herders. Even in May, the average night temperature is just 2 degrees. For the next month, the 2 men will live among this terrain. After graduating from middle school, Tspinso went to Lhasa to perform migrant labor, working a variety of jobs. He became a sheep herder after learning the trade from Denzin. Their meal is bread made from steamed Tibetan wheat. Before eating, the men take a moment to offer thanks to the gods of heaven and earth. Their village had been home to 18 sheep herders, but in the last decade those numbers have dropped by half. Denzin has great hopes for Tspinso's future as a herder. There's a certain location Denzin often visits while herding. Atop the cliff of Puma Yumtso stands Tui Temple. He prays here for the health of their sheep. The temple was once located on the island in the lake. It's said that it was moved to its current location 500 years ago. The chief priest shows a mural depicting that account. According to it, Buddhist guardian deities urged them to move from the island to the lakeside. The island, said to have been the former temple site, is 5 kilometers from the village and known as the Island of God. This island of legend supports the villagers' lives even today. While grass on the mountain vanishes in the winter, what remains on the island allows them to nourish their herds.
Soni gol chakpa gol luk tawa da chungni be de tangbe na me ba takpa go tong e gen ge ji le jun ge jan man tong be ku yu ji be tok ba sha to.
With August comes Tibet's rainy season. At the 4,600-meter heights of the plateau, canola flowers finally bloom half a year later than on the flatlands. During this season, the changing climate around the village is dizzying. Mornings may be warm and sunny. But in the afternoon, the temperature drops by more than 20 degrees. At times, 5-millimeter hailstones suddenly rain from the sky. Green has returned to the grasslands around the village. Compared to 3 months ago, the sheep look noticeably more plump and well-fed. This day marks a special occasion for the villagers. Over the course of the day, they'll shear 2,000 sheep. The women of the village bind the animals' feet to keep them from struggling. Since the task requires both acquired skill and strength, the shearing itself is done by the men. Denzin is among them. He cautiously cuts the wool, which grows 10 centimeters over the course of the year. Taking care not to cut their skin, he trims from belly to legs to back, so that the wool can be removed in a single sheet. Delicately woven together like a rug, this wool fetches a decent price. The average yearly income in Tui is around $5,000, less than half that of China as a whole. Fine wool from the plateau can be sold for $4 a kilogram. Due to the lack of other work in this harsh environment, the wool is a valuable form of direct income. 6 months remain until their winter grazing expedition. Danzin's wife, Sonam, is already preparing for the trip. Within the baskets is the shorn sheep's wool. They strike it over the rocks to remove dirt. Then they wash it again. She begins weaving an important object for the winter herding. To be ready for Denzen's frigid month-long journey, Sonam will need to finish the blanket by winter. The summer passes quickly in Tibet. With the coming of winter, the surface of Pumayontsua gradually freezes over. At the lakeside, winter grazing had begun. Denzen and novice herder Pinzo tend to their sheep. The ground is already almost entirely bare of grass. The sheep stave off their hunger by gnawing on roots and moss. Soon, there'll be nothing left here for them to eat.
어때 디제든 이마 düğün neydi? 그거 장전 딱 따지 없이.
那你帮我造什么？
造什么的？别再三那个。 싸매네. 연도냐 작도 쇼지다.
5 kilometers from the village, the grass that grew in the summer remains lush on the island. Once Pumayumtso fully hardens in February, 2,000 sheep will cross the ice to reach the island. This tradition, carried down for half a millennium, will now be the responsibility of the two herders.
Dila 합진 창해근 진빈조랑가 정용마다. 다 일에 탕에 쇼바디 사된소 사나 히기 여지 해와 예사나 사나 정반나 저다. 와일에 차와 누지 조테 폴랑 누지 요다. 다 일에 차파고 저니 뭐디 섭서지야라디 다 소라디 저 교교에다 그도 뭐겠나 냠저 인다 그도 gem나 누시 룩봉 타보다 대쇼네 주다 제가 사보요 주지 룩봉 타다 룩이 지고 이 추트 부터용네
In January, the village grows even colder. Temperatures drop to 15 below freezing. The grazing expedition is now just a week away. As this year's leaders, Denzin and Spinzo check the state of the ice daily.
와다 니 차과자니 다다 니다로 간 제교자다 삼야다 니 산이고 점나 산이를 숨만다 이거라 창다 그때고라 이거라 창다 세간이 그도 세간이와 마일도 도다 히네 와 히도
그래 독도 지면에
와 히네 돼요 그것도 딱 마사고라도다 진 독류
The ice needs to be at least 50 centimeters thick to support their combined weight. Since they guide the precious livestock of the village, they can't afford the possibility of a mistake. Their departure is 1 day away. Denzin's wife, Sonam, presents him with the product of her hard work. She worked from the summer to prepare the blanket. She hopes it will be enough to keep the cold away during the month-long stay. That evening, Denzin receives a sudden call from Spinzo. Just a day before departure, Spinzo realizes a sudden change in the lake. The area from where the sheep begin the trek is starting to melt. Tossing hard ice over it causes the surface to crack and water seeps out.
상쇼 ngabo hi awa 이게 말 상사마다 이게 단다 추비데 상쇼 랭도야 까기 랭도 까지 이 이네 징되었다现在一刻都不让都当是对现一了记住的一说了啥就呢也不晓得这样理解的
February 1st, before dawn. The fateful day has arrived. The villagers all head for the lake. The two herders make their final check of the area that had been melting the day before. To create friction on the ice, they scatter ash made from burnt livestock manure before they cross it. Since snow fallen on the ice makes it more slippery than usual, they spread a generous amount of the ash. The path of ash leading toward the island is in place. The temperature is now 20 below zero. As the sun rises, 2,000 hungry sheep are released from their enclosure all at once. By 8 a.m., they descend to the lake. In order to attract tourism, the local government is attempting an event here for the first time. More than 20 drones fly overhead, and the area is abuzz with excitement. Amid this clamour, the herding over the ice begins. Denzin uses feed to lure the nervous sheep. Guided by a goat, the sheep fall into line. The walk from the village to the island is a long one. Suddenly, the front herd stops in its tracks. Even when called, the sheep won't budge. They try getting a mother sheep to move by placing a lamb ahead of her. It's to no avail. They even drag the sheep ahead of the herd. But the animal resists. At last, the herd proceeds along the path of ash. But it soon faces another problem. The villagers hold the sheep that have fallen on the ice. They connect the sheep's legs with cords to keep their steps tight. When even this doesn't help, Denzin and Spinso consider what to do. Two hours since they began their effort, the animals have finally calmed down. The 2,000 sheep form an organized line, progressing across the frozen lake toward the island of God. 3 hours since they left, the sheep in front begin to reach the island. They eagerly consume the plentiful grass there. However, a large number of sheep with sore legs and some pregnant sheep remain on the lake. Denzin goes to their aid. Denzin moves toward the island as fast as he can manage. Carrying the 80-kilogram animal across the slippery ice is no easy feat for him, especially with his ailing joints. He bears the pain to push forward. Other villagers follow in suit, carrying the sheep on their backs or in their arms. Bringing up the rear by carrying the last sheep is Spinsel. By the afternoon, all of the sheep have made the trek across the lake and reached the island. This year took them twice as long as usual. To the herd, the grass is a long-awaited feast. On an area of shore shielded from the wind, the herders pitch their tents. The black tents have been woven with wool from their animals. It's in these sparse accommodations that the two herders will stay for nearly a month as they watch over the sheep. There's no water on the island itself. They find a spot on the lake where the ice is thin and drill a hole. Even in the heart of winter, Pumayumtso blesses their herding with its water.
학박으로 저기다. 요 럭어서는 학발 디장고 구축장.
그 니네 코레스 직장지.
와지고.
With each day of grazing, the sheep regain their energy.
아이죠 레타니죠 야게다 달로.
야게 제도 맞는. 이거도 달도 돼서 근데
지금 10수선의 25.
어디 디그스는 저 부사들 마운디. 닐라니야 고 큰제. 다른 일을 잡아가 좋았단 말이야. 다른 잡아가 너스 용제 루터때 직들어진 대한 semra 주면 직 semra 남다란 게 소리지야. 주 미루를 잡아가 용야 누구레베도 누구 쇼를 직제야 semra 직 나기 있어 직제라지고.
As he nears the end of his long career as a herder, Denzin considers Spinso worthy of carrying on the tradition.
다 증빈도 룩르 담된소 약부šan데. 다 룩르 담 약부šan데. 다 사람은 저 사야 된소에 우리 이 소라 팅부대비šan데. 다 증빈도 된조랍 된소래 제종야야제 소종야야제 제등다 약부샤등 다 알아와지 증빈조를
While keeping watch among unyielding nature, the men have an unexpectedly happy discovery.
누구니야? 니 당공 야부터 찍겠는데다. 대당 야부터도 당공 기요에는 프로야가 있다고. 또 아마래 디 해부 중등 오마된 저 셰일 친데 누구 야부지. 누구야 당무지. 어베게 정말 마소한데 누구 잡마지. 야부터지.
On this remote terrain, the people of Tibet's Tui village have long coexisted in harmony with their sheep. They continue to cherish their proud 500-year-long tradition.